What's up, you guys? David Fox here, the Black Belt Realtor, back on another episode of Keeping It Real Estate Podcast. We have our broker, Jordan Bobbitt. Jordan, how we doing today?
Doing all right. How about you?
I'm fantastic. And then we have you're not an associate broker yet,
No,
right?
no.
All right. So just another real estate agent, but member of the family, Josh Bobbitt,
Yes, sir.
younger brother, and to Jordan and son to Jerry. So today we're going to cover a lot. We're talking about the full kind of start to finish, a little bit of a breakdown. I'm reminded now, especially with this warmer season, it's easy to get, we call it black belt brain, right? Like you've done something so long, to you it doesn't need explained, and then to someone else you're like, wait, hold up. What are you talking about? Like,
Yeah, you almost think it's common sense.
What's PM? Yeah, you believe it's common sense, right?
Yeah.
And it's just, it's if you don't use it, you lose it. So even if someone bought a house 10 years ago, some of this stuff might get forgot about. So we're gonna go into that a little bit. We've got obviously some Reddit rundowns, but then do we have any tales from the trenches? I do have one, but I want to start with you boys as well.
I don't even want to call it tales of the trenches. I've just been I want to say looking at some interesting houses lately.
Where at?
Detroit.
Oh,
I've got an investor down there, and I mean, some of these houses are nice. Some you're like that foundation is like falling. Like this entire it's a multi-family, and it's a three-story deck. And one of the pillars, I kid you not, the pillar, instead of being like this, is like this.
I've got no interest. Do you work with a lot of investors? I don't really have a lot of interest in working with investors.
I don't want to say a lot of investors, but I've got a few that I work with. But I suppose if you find like anything else, you find the right investor, it's okay. But in my experience, they don't really value what we do. They want to steal everything. Like it's like 50% of ARV, and you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna buy it, right? Like, so forget I'm gonna buy it if we're just stealing property. So that's kind of been my experience, and then they tend to be high maintenance. Not all, but that's kind of finding a good investor that does flips and is a good lead source. It's their diamond. Good luck. It's not like there's one around every corner that's like, oh, I need a real estate agent. Most of them, if they are seasoned investors, they probably already have an agent or two that they've been working with.
Sure.
So it's a hard market to dive into.
So how about how about you, Josh? We got any interesting story? We call it Tales from the Trenches is the episode. So like anything interesting happened this week, month, year for you?
Oh yeah. So not too long ago, I was calling some potential clients, and this house was foreclosed. It went into probate to the three kids.
What's probate?
It is when the owner passes away and it goes to the next of kin.
They don't have a. They didn't have a.
They didn't really have a will. So thank you for because probate. You want to avoid probate. At all costs. Probate, and that's like the main reason we got a will. Like I think my parents got. I'm pretty sure my parents got one. But like we personally, I was like, man, I don't want to put my kids because probate's a nightmare.
It is.
It's a.
Even if everybody agrees, it's still going to be a nightmare.
Yeah.
You can pay the legal fees and everything else and all that. But yeah, so that's what happened. The parents didn't have any sort of will. They got caught in probate, and the kids never paid a bill on it, so it went to foreclosure, and it sold in a auction. Well, they have...
It's a 6 months. You got the sheriff's. It was sold at the sheriff's sale auction.
Yep. That is crazy. That and that's a risk if you're buying a house at auction.
Well, here's the thing.
It's not actually yours for 6 months. Someone can come back and redeem it.
Yes, that's so I called them saying, "Hey, we'll pay off what was the rest of your
pay what's owed.
When it's
sold for at the sheriff's sale auction.
Because it sold for X amount of dollars in the sheriff's sale, so you had to pay those and the processing fee and everything else. And we even said, hey, we'll put a couple $1,000 in your pocket just to get out."
And cash for keys.
Yep, cash for keys kind of situation.
Yep.
And let's just say they didn't know what they were doing, and they was like, well, could we still rent a room if you bought it?
Sure.
And we're like, no, we're completely tearing everything out and selling it. and they still were like, well, can we go half on it? And we're like, do you have half the money?
Right.
No. So how are you going to go half on it if you don't? And they were just trying to, but like, you're going to lose the house in 6 months. So you either have the money or you have nothing.
That mentality is really strange. I know when I was talking to Jerry when I first got licensed, and he was like, I was like, hey, I found like we got these pre-foreclosure lists. Like we could call them, and he's like,
good luck.
Go ahead. Yeah, he was like, you can. I was like, what do you
this one kind of just fell.
It would be a no-brainer, right? Because if you're going to foreclose,
you might as well have some couple thousand.
I'm telling you, that mentality. He's like, they will be a week away from having
homeless.
The sheriff come and evicting it, and they're like, nope, my lawyer's going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's a gamble. And this stuck with me. He's like, it's a gambler's mentality of like, oh, it's or an addict's mentality, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just going to figure itself out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it will when you're in the shelter. Right?
When you think about it.
You hear that?
Yeah. When you think about it, though, unfortunately,
it took a lot of steps to get there.
They're in that position.
It doesn't happen overnight. Yeah.
So you already know that, well, it's not going to always be as easy as, oh, yeah, here's a situation. Mm-hmm. Here's what's going to happen. Here's your options.
And
they
had a lot of potential intervention up until that point. Absolutely. No,
and we're still trying to help them out. We're like, hey, you can walk away with some money in your pocket.
It doesn't,
or you can walk away with your stuff on the street.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
We're like, we'll even let you stay the rest of the 6 months so you can get things situated.
You were super generous.
Oh, we were trying to be nice to them.
Oh, dude.
We were like, hey, just stay there until you.
Well, because it's better than usually.
Well, because if you make them, if you take them off, now they're in that house and they can do a lot more damage to that house.
Fair enough.
So if you're like, hey, we're trying to make you happy, we'll give you a couple, I'll give you some money, we'll give you time to pack everything up.
A few grand plus free rent for 6 months, bro.
It's not the 6 months. They've got like a couple months left.
Yeah,
the remaining of the
6 months.
6 months. Yeah.
So we're like, hey, just trying to be nice to them, and there's like, oh no, my siblings, they can't. They're violent. They're this. They're that. And we're like, it's simple. Like it doesn't take a lot to figure this out. Would you rather have nothing?
So what? So what happened? They just got kicked out.
It's still in the process.
It's still in the process. So
that's you're literally going through. Okay. Well, keep me posted on that. I'm interested. So one thing we had, it's not nearly as I guess unusual as that, but two clients, they are looking to get out of the city, and so it's kind of coincidental. You guys know I like to hunt. I go hunt out in Waterloo, in Chelsea, Jackson area, and they both of them go out there, and he. First off, when you're shopping out that way. At least out that way, right? Because I don't know it as well as I do like Monroe or even Wayne. Dude, they've got they're not insulting budgets. I mean, they're high 2s, and the other one was mid 3s. And for $280, I wouldn't let my clients live in some of these homes, and I wouldn't live in some of these homes. This one, dude, it was but it's country living. And I was talking with the husband. He was like, it seems like some of these homes are nice, but some of them are, what did he call it? Like hillbilly-ish. I was like, well, you will have, bro, you're in Chelsea, bro. You're in the country. Like what? And the country, I said, what you will find is a tale of two cities, usually. You've got new money, or at least new builds. They got these great, gorgeous condos, right? But then you have another, maybe dilapidated farmhouse that's been in the family since the 1900s. It's probably paid off, but they haven't fixed anything since the 1900s. And so you just see
it has 2 or 3 barns in the back.
Right, which may or may not be kind of falling off, right? So that's really, and so they're, the one guy, he's like, my prereq was, I just want enough land to shoot. He's like, do you think I could shoot on that? I said, it's really going to be dependent on the parcel, right? Yeah. And then the one he went and checked out. Cool enough house, that you could tell they DIY'd a lot of it. Like they knew their way around a chop saw and a brad nailer, and so which is fine, right?
Some duct tape.
Yeah, not that bad. No, it was good. It was good. It was good, but it was just you could just tell, right? Like you could tell, they don't. One way you can tell, I do the same thing, so I'm not dogging it. They don't caulk the baseboard.
Yeah.
Right? Why am I caulking the baseboard, bro? It's just one more thing I gotta cut.
Where it's at? In the kitchen, the bathroom, or something.
A bedroom.
Yeah, I'm not
Tyler
about that.
Yeah, why am I caught? It's purely cosmetic, right? Bathroom, wet spaces.
Yeah, so
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, wet spaces, 100%.
That's what I'm like. Where at?
But we get there, and just the way that we couldn't see this from the listing. There was like, I was like, "What are you shooting?" He's like, "A pistol, and then maybe an AR." I was like, "All right, well, we're done." You know, like because there was that like within range. You'd be shooting at another house, right?
Well, pistol you could probably maybe get away with, but yeah, they are. The AR's too strong.
But then
it depends on what you're shooting at.
Even if what you're shooting at, but even if it's within the accepted ordinance, and this was like 2 or 3 miles outside of downtown Chelsea, so it wasn't. Maybe not. I'd have to call and ask, but you're for sure gonna piss off your neighbor.
Oh yeah,
because, and I said, I'm just thinking, even though I like the country, I like guns.
Yeah, right.
If I hear if I hear firearms, I'm gonna be like, dude, okay, well, what if my kids are out playing out back? If I'm your neighbor and I hear that, I'm like, yo, send me a message before you start shooting, so I can keep the kids in the house, or we can come over and join you. One or the other.
See, there was actually at our house. I think it was Thursday or Friday.
You got plenty.
Yeah, but it was at 11 p.m.
Oh yeah.
Shots going off, and it was. You're an hour off of midnight and shots are going off.
Are they shooting coyotes?
No, it was pop, 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 pop. And we were like, I was like, what in the world is going on?
You
like,
check it. You got to check someone out at that point.
Well, that's because it was close.
Yeah.
I just said it was a couple days ago.
That was a weekend.
They were home though, so it would have been Thursday or Friday.
Gotcha.
What were they?
I don't know. I just texted. I texted. I was like, dude, did you hear that?
Was it pistol fire or like rifle fire?
It was. TV's on, about ready to go to bed, and it was just we just heard pop, 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 and I'm just like, what the heck?
So if I'm being honest, that would not have been an unusual event at my childhood home growing up, and what my dad would do, he just doesn't like critters, and so like if he was walking out to the barn, dude, this was 2 years ago. And we were walking out the barn. I was like, "Oh, look at that little possum." He's like, "Go get the Glock." I was like, "He's fine. He's fine. He's not bothering me. He's not attacking my kid or in my car. Let the guy live." Like he was like, "No." I was like, and so like he made noise, and I kind of like scared him away.
Yeah.
While my dad was going to get the gun, because I'm like, dude, possums.
They eat ticks.
Oh, do they?
Oh yeah, they
eat ticks.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, people think that they're not the prettiest things to look at.
I think
Obviously,
they're cute.
And they think they're full of like rabies.
But they're actually beneficial to have. They're really not. They're not really dangerous. They don't attack people.
Yeah, they don't want to come near you.
I think it's the tail is what bothers people with possums, right? Like the
rat tail.
Yeah, the rat looking tail. But if you see them because you see them at night, right? They're nocturnal. And like if I'm up in the stand and you'll hear they're slow, and so you hear. And it's steady, and I was like, "Oh, where's Mr. Possum?" Like coming out. So I don't mind him, man. Another time, dude, this was appropriate. My baby sister Claire, she was like 6 or 7. Okay, that wasn't intentional, but she was playing they were playing with a turtle. It ended up being a snapping turtle. And they were like playing with it, and I'm like, dude, like that thing will take a finger off. So he put a few rounds through its shell. It's still walking around.
How big was the turtle?
Like pretty good size, like a good sized turtle, right?
How can it
just let the poor thing go?
Well, to where?
Is there not a pond or something nearby?
Yeah, we swim in it.
Oh.
Yeah. So, it's not like your little, cosmetic pond. So then it kept walking around, and then he finally put like a stick in front of it and went out and bit it, and he chopped its head off. That was the end. That was the end of it. But that has less to do with real estate and more just about country living. So.
That's what you get in the country.
That is what you get in the country. So you don't know what happened with your neighbors. They're just Okay, are they okay? Like cops?
I mean, it was Nobody came.
Is there going to be a
anything.
Netflix special on this?
Cool. Yeah, no, it should be good. Nobody came. Nobody
I
complained.
hear gunshots in my neighborhood.
We're different neighborhoods.
Yeah. All right, so let's go into. So I want to share. I want to share this one graphic that we pulled up. And this kind of bothers me. I'm not gonna lie. It bothers me, right? Because someone shared this on Downriver and Friends, and that's fine. And this was a realtor. I think that's the bothersome part.
A realtor.
Where are we at? All right. So, first time home buyer checklist. Step 1, save up money. Okay, fair. Step 2, find a realtor. Step 3, make an offer on a house. Step 4, pay for the house.
I like how it's pay for the house.
Just pay for the house. Yeah. So just missing a few steps, right?
A few steps.
What would you? I mean, there's several things. There's enough to go around a few times of what we would add to this list. But like, what between save up money and find a realtor? What should really happen, Josh?
You should definitely get pre-approved.
Yeah.
If you don't know a mortgage rep, then obviously the real estate agent might be able to help you.
Yep.
You get pre-approved.
Oh, I got your face covered. Hang on. Sorry, I'm screen sharing there. Okay, go ahead. Yeah. So yeah, get pre-approved for a mortgage unless you're paying cash, right? If you're a cash buyer, fair enough. If you're a cash buyer, right, you got to save up $300,000 or whatever, 200, whatever. Then you can.
9% of people are not going to be first-time home.
Majority are not. Yeah,
first-time home buyer.
First-time home buyer cash, right?
Unless your parents love you that much, but.
So pre-approved is important because now is it, as a rule, I know our policy, like, you're not showing homes to people who aren't unpre-approved. But are you allowed to?
Yeah, you can.
You can, right? So you can shoot, because I know, like, you see this on a lot of listings, and the agents are like, only agent must accompany, all, which is right. Yeah. You're not handing out passcodes, right? But pre-approved, it's not illegal or against any type of guidelines or anything.
You might get somebody that's, if the agent specifically said it, you may get some backlash just on because they specifically asked. But even then, there's no technical, I don't want to say rule. Now, it's kind of stupid. You're wasting your time.
It could be a waste of time, absolutely.
So, that's why we have that rule of just, you don't do it. Now, there may be the one where you know the person really well, their job, how much they're making, what, you're really close friends, and they're like, hey, I want to go see this house. It's short notice,
right?
Fill in the blank. Just listed, and hey, I'll go get the pre-approval if I like it.
Yeah.
I might even send them my mortgage guy's number and say, hey, let's get the ball rolling, because if you do like it, we don't want to,
of course,
delay
you're not in a position. You're not in a position to write an offer.
Yeah, but like I said, it's just a waste of time, because how you don't know, right? You don't know if that person can qualify or can't qualify. So why would I want to go show them the house if they're not?
Yeah, and it's and you're not even in a position to write an offer, And if it's hot area, and it just came on the market, I mean, a pre-approval. I've gotten a pre-approval in 4 hours.
Yeah, you can get them pretty quick.
They're fast, right? But usually, I mean, it's usually dependent on the buyer of how fast can you get the docs. Yeah, so
if they're organized.
Right. So it's like a day, maybe 2. And but I mean, that could be a difference between someone else scooped it up.
Well, and that's why I tell my buyers, so they're like, oh, I don't have a pre-approval yet, but I want to go see this house. And I'm just like, okay, here's why. You go see the house. You fall in love with the house. Mm-hmm. You love the house. You're not pre-approved yet. So you go get the pre-approval. But it takes a couple hours, like you said. Even if you're really good with all your docs and you can get them over to your lender quickly, it still takes a couple hours sometimes. By that time, the house is gone. You just missed out on the house of your dreams because you just wanted to delay.
It can move that fast, depending on the area.
Yeah, right. Depending on but even like you said, most times it takes more of like a day, 2 days to get it, because buyers always don't have all of the docs that they need right at that moment. So I always go from that perspective of, hey, dude, I'm trying to help you out, because if you go in, you like this house, and then we can't get it because you're not ready. I'm going to be the one getting yelled at, even though I told you ahead of time, hey, we're not, you're not ready. So,
yep. All right. So then, in addition to this, it says, get a realtor, find a realtor, which I recommend. I recommend interviewing agents. Honestly, I know I was. In addition to our Reddit run, I was on Downriver and Friends. I was like, yeah, we're gonna get in trouble. Like, I was gonna pull some of these like requests. And this ironically, this screen share graphic was posted by a realtor, and I get it, right? I understand why. I think maybe the idea is to make the process seem less daunting, but I am shocked, and in terms of like projects I've done, buying a house is not ultra complicated. But in terms of projects other people have done, I had a guy visit a business group, and his daughter had a psychotic break. Like legitimately, when I say went mental, I mean legitimately. She was like, now she's battling, like she's on like psychotic meds. The whole process of buying a house from, I don't know I don't know the details, right? But he was there representing the nonprofit for her because she's like, she had a psychotic break, dude. Like she literally like brain fractured.
I had a client, I showed a house and she puked in the front lawn just because she was just
stressed.
Anxious and stressed.
So I think
it was the first house we ever showed him.
That is crazy.
First house,
especially this generation.
Yeah,
and,
well, but I don't know.
And you just saw her, getting nervous and anxious, walk around the house. And I was like, you don't have to be stressed. We're just walking around the house.
Yeah.
She walked outside.
She went out and threw up.
And she went outside and she threw up on the front lawn.
Was it just her buying it?
No, it was a couple.
Where was the dude at?
He was there.
Just what?
He was there. He was trying to just console her.
Hey, he was cool though.
Yeah, he's cool.
Did you help him close?
Yeah. Yeah.
They bought.
Yeah.
They bought a house.
It was
that's kind of crazy, man. I understand. Look, you hear these horror stories of foundations and this and that. There are a lot of preventative measures in place to keep those things from happening, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you want to buy, your neighbor's going to sell it to you because they like you, they're going to give you a deal, and you want to waive an inspection, sure, you're an idiot, right? Yeah. Like, you kind of deserve what you get. But you've got an agent, which a lot of people don't understand this. Everyone's like, we turn keys and cash checks, right? I wish that's all we did. We have a fiduciary duty, which look up the term. It means it's akin to almost not exactly a financial advisor, right? Like we will get in hot water if we advise you to do anything other than it is in your best interest, right? So that's one benefit. So we're looking at your back. Secondly, we are, to your point, we are not emotionally charged, right? We're not not emotionally charged.
Some. Or most, I should say.
What, you know some emotional? I don't care what house you buy. Like,
I don't.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised that they're like, oh no, you can't buy this.
What do you mean? An agent?
Yeah.
Wait, is it out of the, can they not physically not afford it?
No, just like they don't like the house. Oh no, you don't want this. Look at this over here. And again, me and you are like that, right? Yeah. But I know agents who they like try to tell people no because they don't like the design of the house, and I'm like, bro, you're not even.
I've only sold one house I would buy.
Yeah,
where I was like, yo, this is dope. Right? There's only been one house.
But that's the thing. Whenever I get asked that question, I'm not buying the house. I don't care. I'm gonna help you. If there's a foundation crack, I'm gonna point that out. Make sure it's
not liability, right?
Dude, I don't care if the carpet's pink and the whatever color it is. I don't care if you like it. You like it.
Yeah.
But there are some agents though who, and I'm like, don't do that. Like, you're not buying the house. Don't tell me you don't like this and you don't like that. They just go around like nitpicking, and I'm like, don't do that.
I'll point out. Yeah, I kind of do on the same. Because I'm working with a lot of jiu-jitsu guys now, and so like they're coming out right there. They're either growing family or married, whatever. And so, like, I just shoot them straight. They're like, what do you think about that? I was like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of shitty work, but, it's not going to fall over. It's just, I wouldn't do the work. I would have a higher attention to detail, but it's just cosmetic. Baseboard, perfect example. It's just cosmetic, dude. It's not going to be, is it the one we went to in Chelsea. Yeah. Chelsea. And they used some type of service, I'm guessing, to get it on the MLS because it was for sale by owner. But it was like 1-800. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Buck a broker. I don't know what it was. Like, it was, but I was like, it was like, I contacted them. They're like, yo, you gotta contact the owner. I was like, okay. So I get in, and this place is just like, they moved all their stuff out, and like doorknobs are loose. Like, you're moving handles, and it's like loose, and they're asking $370. Right, so it's not 170, 180. Yeah. You're asking almost $400,000 for this house. And it's dirty, right? Like, stuff's squeaking. It's been on the market for 5 months. You could have.
That tells you everything you need to know right there.
We just have land on it.
No, but it's your proximity to downtown. Like it's you're probably 2 or 3 miles outside downtown, right?
Okay.
With downtown Chelsea.
Okay.
Which is, I mean, I think 370 is a little. I mean, 340. I mean, it was probably 340-ish. It's fine. But like, it just if I'm your agent and we're listening at it, I was like, all right, so I need you. Here's a list of stuff I need you to do for this house, right? Because it's like, and my client, he sells cars. So I was like, it's like brand new Subaru. It's brand new, but are you going to show it unwashed?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you're going to make it presentable, right? You're asking someone to spend $400,000.
Seriously.
So little things like that. So then you're getting through. They're nervous. Buyers are nervous of making a mistake. So you're there to kind of look after that. Let's say you write an offer. What happens after the offer? Oh, hang on. Pause. Let's say there's multiple offers. What's your play?
Oh, wait, I was a listing agent, buyer's agent.
Yeah.
You're the buyer. Thank you. Yeah.
Well,
thank you for
then
the clarification, Josh. What's your personal play? Because I've got a.
Well, you see where depending on the agent, you kind of feel out where your offer's at, where you're standing at the ranking.
Do you ask them what the offer is to beat?
Kind of. If I know the agent, I do it.
I ask every agent.
I ask all the time.
Every agent, and I make sure to get them on the phone.
Yeah,
I don't like to text.
Yeah,
I was like,
hey,
hey, what's going on, Josh? How we doing? So we like the house, dude. You got some offers in hand?
What's the offer to beat?
Yeah. What's the number we got to beat, dude? Like, and I say so that they can hear them smile, because I'm not, And they're like, well, sometimes they'll be like, sometimes they'll tell you, or they'll be like, yeah, I can't really tell you. Well, here's what we were thinking of coming in at. Am I wasting ink? And they're like, yeah, you got to do better. You got to do better than that.
Yeah, most time they'll say that. Yeah. But what I never understood is why don't agents say, hey, this is the number?
Because it's completely up to their seller.
It's they can't without the seller's
permission. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like,
absolutely.
If you're the seller, you might scare a buyer away. But that buyer wouldn't be beating the offer you already have.
Yeah, but here's the flip side, and this is why they don't. Okay, I've got 2 people submitting an offer. Mm-hmm. I don't tell you, and I tell him, hey, you've got to beat 400. So what's he going to do? 401, 405. I don't tell you at L, hey, bring your best offer. I've got multiple offers. You got to come in what's best. You write 415, 420 because, dude, I want the house and I don't care. If I know I only got to beat 400, he's coming in at 405. You're not coming in at 420.
That's where you get your escalation clauses and everything.
That is the reason.
So that is and I think that you brought up, because I worked with this one agent. She in her notes, she was like, no escalation clauses, and I was like, what? And I called. I was like, what does that mean? She's like, I just don't deal with them. I was like, so if I write you an offer with an escalation clause, you're not going to show it? She's like, oh, I will. I said, okay.
Like, they just put it to try to
they just don't. Yeah, they just don't.
They just don't want to deal with it. I'm like,
so
it's one clause.
Before I personally,
I
love them, dude. Yeah. I love escalation clauses. Right now, they usually, a great offer is an escalation clause that has an appraisal guarantee. So let's explain those terms. I mean, we all black belt, right? An escalation clause, I liken it to you guys.
I use all the time.
Are you old enough to shop on eBay? Have you ever shopped? Have you ever placed won an auction on eBay?
One, no, because
you've never won an auction on eBay.
My parents never would let me do it.
It's the best feeling ever. Like
I sold stuff on eBay.
Yeah, well, you sold. Okay, so you sold stuff on eBay.
We sold but never bought because my parents never would let us.
I've done both. Yeah. I've done both, but I'm talking like late '90s, early 2000s, dude. eBay was time to be alive. Like it was.
Dave, I remember I was born in 2000.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, so what they have, and I don't know if I think this has been around since day one, but I liken an escalation clause to shopping on eBay, right? On auction, not buy it now.
Yeah.
And so let's say I like this computer, okay, and it's like, oh, it's only $50 right now. Okay, well, my starting bid is going to be what? 51, right? Because I'm not going to pay more than I have to. But I'm willing to bid. They call it a proxy bid.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bid up to
this amount,
700 or 750 or whatever my max bid is, and I'm willing to beat any other bid by $5, $10, $20. They might have a minimums on eBay.
Yeah.
That's an escalation clause,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
and so agents don't like it because you as a buyer, you kind of get the best of both worlds. Let's say I'm not going to tell you. Let's say the next highest was 370. I blow 420 because I was fear missing out. Well, this keeps it keeps it within reasonable range, right?
Yeah.
With what I'll call reasonable range, and you don't blow your wad unnecessarily to beat the next highest offer by like large amounts. Now I will also add this. I was like, listen, there's more than just the price with an offer. I've seen sellers turn down our escalation clause, beating the next highest offer by 10 grand because they could close 2 weeks sooner.
Cash.
They were just like, I want, and that's exactly, it was cash, right?
Cash.
And it was certainty clause. I was like, boomer money at that point, right? But like so that there's parts of it that come into it too. Or if let's say I'm going to bid up to 450, will the house appraise? That's a different issue.
The other thing that some people don't always think of too is when there's multiple escalation clauses. That's when sometimes they can get a little tricky.
I've never encountered that.
So let's
explain that. How? Yeah, let me
some
think it through
people-
while you're talking.
Yes, some people they're like, well, the offer was for 300, their escalation went to 320, sure, but their offer was for 300. So even though my escalation went to 325, and then I'm like, no, it's 325 because you said you'd beat it by 5. Their offer goes up to 320.
Oh, so they try to they're trying to tie. So
you look at the escalation clause of what it's going to be. So if,
Correct.
like he said,
That's your
like he
top
said, if
number.
it's 320,
because that is the offer.
because that's the offer.
That
now.
is the offer.
'Cause now
Not
we-
the base offer.
Yep.
That's your max offer.
But you do get some agent. No. I'm not going that high because of that. And that's sometimes where an issue lies because at that point you're just arguing over. I don't want to say semantics, but your technical offer is 300, but you're going up to 320.
If we show you an offer that we have another offer up to 320, that's what we have to do.
So I did have an agent call me back after we were under contract to let me know he got a higher offer.
Well,
I was
that's
like, okay. He's like, cool. So you can just adjust the PA. I was like,
we're already signed.
No.
That's not how that works.
No. That's not how this works. And he's like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, okay.
The fact he actually tried.
Well, the thing is, though, and
if
here's
you
the
talk
thing.
to this agent, you would be like, oh yeah, I know the type, right?
But you think about it, he probably asked. Well, one, maybe he just asked because he didn't know any better. But two, sometimes
He's a
agents,
hustler.
yeah,
He's a
sometimes
hustler.
agents ask. You think it's stupid, but dude, I don't care if you think I'm stupid. Do you know how many times I've called and it worked?
You've done that?
No. I'm saying for him, like, people, there's agents who do out of the box things. They ask out of the box things, and you're like, dude, no, that's never gonna happen. Okay, but the next person they may say yes, and if they do, because they're stupid enough to say yes, then I'm gonna take advantage of them.
That's
That's why it pays no.
Yeah, it pays to have a good agent. Going back to something you said earlier, a lot of people, you encourage them to interview agents because a lot of people just pick an agent.
Yeah, I do.
The statistic for that is what most statistics say is 70% of people just choose the first realtor and they pick them. So if you're the first person that they talk to,
Sure, yeah.
you're the one that they pick.
Which
they don't shop around.
I recently got a client. I hope we get her a home. She's in a tough spot. She's from Kentucky. She was working with a different brokerage agent.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was this kid's. So I'm not going to totally blame him. He works for a large brokerage that just sold down in Monroe. And so he's a younger kid. And I think he was doing what he was coached to do. And so she was pre-approved for at the time, 225. At least that's the letter he gave her. And now he's got her shopping. She sent him home for 250. And he's like, well, we need to get on the same page to make sure we're not wasting each other's time. And I'm like, and he was like a younger kid. And so she put up with this is kind of insulting behavior. There's an approach, right? You can be like, all right, is there any flex room in your pre-approval? Because I just don't know if they're going to, So anyway, she fired him, hired me on. That was one of the very few times because I had just been in contact with her. And I'm cool with interviewing agents or being interviewed. It's never really happened, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I just got a sphere and they just know me. Like, so that helps a lot. And, but I'd like to think I take a slightly different approach of, obviously I'm less polished, right? I'm not going to show up in freaking cardigan, right? Like, but I know the craft, and I know good homes from bad homes and things like that. So, I'm cool with it, but I do think, where do they get the first agent though is the question. I guess because that would be a big difference. If you interview, I'm just going to pick on them. If you interview an agent from downriver and friends, that quickly turns into the yellow pages and you do eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine, but like, I'd like something more than, oh, well, I love dogs too. You love I have a dog. Like, that's entirely irrelevant. I'd like to know that you can calculate millage rate on the prospective property and get me within $100 what my taxes will be. That's what I'd like to know. Or that your escrow is going to be calculated right, Josh?
Yeah.
Mortgage that's your own fault.
Yeah, that's my fault. Apparently, the mortgage company doesn't figure.
We already know who the mortgage company is, so yeah, it's your fault.
That's funny. All right. So once you get under contract, and then I would like to explore. We threw around the phrase quickly, appraisal guarantees. So once you're under contract, okay, cool, I like it, and I know we skipped over the appraisal guarantee, but it's important. The bank is going to appraise the house to make sure we don't have a repeated 2008 and that it's truly worth what you are asking to borrow against it, right? Mm-hmm. Now, what happens if the house is listed for $370, my escalation offer gets accepted at $390, and their appraisal comes back at $365 because they work for a Torpedo or wherever, Like, what happens there?
You've got a couple options. Option one, you can try and, option one, you can bring the cash. So if the buyer's got the cash, so if you're 365 to 390, you need what, 25 grand? Yeah, I'm doing my math right, yeah. So you need 20. Let's say the buyer has it, they're willing to do it, they can do that. Option two, maybe meet somewhere in the middle. Hey, you know what, I've got 15 grand. Can we meet at, 380 instead of 390? Yeah. Option three, you can just say, I don't got the money. You can either take it at 365 or I walk.
Yeah. Well, and you can also, an appraisal guarantee is you address that hypothetical situation ahead of time. You're like, hey, listen, we know we're offering maybe over asking, and I'm willing to offer an appraisal guarantee, meaning I'll come out of pocket. I know how much cash I have. I'll come out of pocket $7,000, $8,000, $10,000 if we run into an appraisal issue. That adds a little bit of warm fuzzies to the seller to know that they don't have a chance of really renegotiating with that big swing. And seller should always kind of beware when you get an offer way over asking. That appraisal should always be an issue. So like you gotta.
I've had plenty of deals have many hiccups with appraisals.
Some agents even purposely do that again because they're like, hey, if I can get it through, then I'm going to get it through.
They tried to do that with my sister.
But they purposely say, hey, it's listed for $350, I'll give you $400, knowing for sure it's not going to appraise at $400. Yep. They just think, well, as long as if I can get my foot in the door and get my offer accepted, then we'll get to the appraisal process and figure it out later.
It's a dangerous game.
It is because one,
you're wasting money.
Yeah, you could easily waste your buyer thousands of dollars between the appraisal, the home inspection, fill in the blank if they've done anything else. Mm-hmm. And now all of a sudden you're 3 weeks in, the appraisal comes back, you're $50,000 apart. Yeah. Obviously the seller's like, well, I'm not taking that. The buyer doesn't have the cash to do it. And you just wasted everybody's time. That's, again, it's why having an agent who knows what they're doing is huge. Because
they tried to do that on the house that my sister bought.
Yeah, but tell me.
Yeah, like 50, and who was that? He was super cool.
The listing agent.
That listing agent was. He's like, I understand. he's like, yeah, he thought I was a rookie or something, trying to get one over on me like that. I'm not gonna entertain that. So the next, those are the next steps, and then you get private inspection, goes to underwriting, and they check to make sure that you haven't opened up new lines of credit, bought any furniture, got a decrease in pay, all the things, and then it goes to closing, right? So that's like a speedboat overview. Now that's
everything going smoothly.
There's several different. I mean, we have an entire section of this show called "Tales from the Trenches" of things that interrupt that flow. tornadoes and winds and damages to the house after inspection, or water coming in, or final walkthroughs, right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the gist of it of how to buy. But first you gotta get pre-approved. You need some money, as little as 3.5% for the down payment.
Mm-hmm. Down payment only.
Which does not include closing costs, which are another 2 to 3 ish.
It depends. I mean, a huge portion, and it just depends on the time of the year. That's what I always tell people, is the taxes. If you've got to,
they got to fund it.
Yeah, if you're not, depending on the mortgage company, you've got to have your escrow. So not only am I paying my taxes back to the seller for the portion that they didn't use, but I also have to pay another portion to the the lender, the mortgage company, to put in escrow so they can pay out my taxes when they come due. So taxes are a huge portion of it, and sometimes it can be a little bit more, like 3 or 4%, because they just paid their tax bill. So now I got to reimburse them for their entire tax bill because I just bought the house on July 15th, and they just paid it 2 weeks ago. Well, now their entire summer tax bill, I've got to reimburse back to them. So taxes play a huge portion on that.
They pay forward. Right?
Yeah, depending on what county you're in and everything. Yeah, but
not Monroe. Not Monroe.
Monroe doesn't even know.
All right, so let's do some tales. All right, Reddit rundowns. And can I share my screen? I think so. Beautiful. All right. Is mortgage insurance a scam? And we'll address what it is in a second for you to know. As I understand it, mortgage insurance is required if the loan to value ratio is less than 80%. Yep. So it's a tax effectively. It's insurance to help protect the bank, who is now a little over leveraged in their eyes. And it covers the loan if the buyer defaults. No, it really doesn't, right? So questions. A, why doesn't the bank automatically cancel the extra payment when the value increases above the ratio? B, during the 2008 housing crisis, why did the banks need to be bailed out? Wouldn't they have insurance kicked in? I have wondered about this since 2008, and no one can answer. 3 months ago. Okay, all right. So first off, they seem a little bit more educated than the average bear, right?
Average Reddit person.
M Shelt 1234. There's a couple things that I will add to this. See, I don't like the word scam, right? Like, is it a scam?
Borderline.
Is it a profit gig? Sure, right? Like they ultimately, that extra $150 is not what's going to keep them from a 40 or 50% economic downturn in home value. Yeah, that your $200 a month did not help bail them out. But insurance, being that it's insurance, case in point with and I don't know, is it homeowners insurance? Like, our rates here in Michigan, let's say we have homeowners insurance or whatever, are rising because of people's homes in Florida. Is that true?
Well,
Jerry mentioned that, and I don't want to misquote.
So, I mean, I know for FEMA that is a fact.
Okay, for
flood insurance.
For flood insurance, right? But let's also use it's a numbers game. It's an average of numbers game. So it's not your individual $200 isn't doing anything. But if you have 2,000 people paying $200 a month, right? Mm-hmm. So now it's a matter of that you got these, nerds back there checking the statistics of the probability of, someone defaulting or whatever. Same with car insurance, right? And life and all. So insurance it's certainly a profit gig, but that is, why doesn't the bank automatically cancel the extra payment? Because they're not here for their best interest,
Yeah, I mean, you do have to send the request in. So for those of you who don't know, once you do reach that 80% loan to value range, you can request to remove.
What is that process? So I'm actually curious. What does that process look like? Do they need a comp? Do they need another appraisal?
So it depends. I mean, if you've most of the time they're going to want an appraisal just to make sure, but it's worth it. Now, if you've been paying on the house and you've lived there for 15 years, you're talking apples and oranges at that point because you've paid off.
Sure.
But for most, like if things went crazy in 3 years, my house price went up a lot, so now I can refinance that's what you'd have to do.
Where does Brock Lee here says
From Naruto?
Brock _ Lee says they get so does the PMI go to like an escrow somewhere?
I'm honestly not 100% sure.
Because he's making it sound like it only covers the lender losses if you default. So if you owe 90 on a 100K house in default, in theory, the bank takes the home, sells it, the PMI pays their costs and difference. I don't think that's how it works. I don't think there's like this set aside escrow third party money. I think they just
they just take it.
Yeah,
I think they add it to that. Yeah.
I honestly don't know if there's like a separate fund for that. Like I do know, like you said, though, it's there to protect the lender, not use the buyer. But yeah, as far as a separate fund, I'd have to look that up because I don't know.
So, and it says I'm reading deeper in the comments. As to your last question, during the 2008 housing crisis, why did the banks need to be bailed out? Wouldn't the insurance have kicked in? I worked for a Michigan company during the fallout of 2008. The insurance, mortgage insurance company. Yeah, I saw MIN. Yeah, so the insurance did kick in. It kicked in so hard, all the insurance companies were going broke and doing everything in their power to not pay out, including going over all the loan files with a fine-tooth comb for any hints of misrepresentation that would allow the mortgage insurance to cancel the policy, and negotiating with the banks for stuff like, look, we've got $1 billion in liability and $400 million in cash to pay out. If you're willing to take 25%, we won't cancel huge swaths of policies wholesale due to widespread fraud within that group.
Yeah, no, I mean, that sounds about right. Because I was going to say, going back to the 2008, well, yeah, you've got insurance, but just like if you go to California when there's a fire and it takes out however many homes, insurance doesn't have, it doesn't matter if, you had insurance. They don't have the money because they just, it's a pure, like you said, it's a pure numbers game. If the majority of houses or a ton of houses just became foreclosed on or fill in the blank, dude, now I've got all this money that I've got to pay back. Like he said, we've got $400 million in cash and $1 billion owed. Take it or leave it.
Yeah. I mean, even that is they're kind of counting on bad things not happening. I mean, all insurance is counting on you pay them to help you if bad things do happen, and they only stay in business if bad things don't. Right? If bad things happen all the time, they're not just.
It's the same insurance across the board. Whether you're talking about home insurance, health insurance, whatever. Even if you get sick, you got cancer, you mark that you didn't smoke a cigarette, and then that company goes back and looks on your Facebook and you've got a cigarette in your hand, they're canceling your policy. They don't have to pay out. So it's the same.
Really?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Because if you signed when you did your health insurance policy that you don't smoke. Now, if you smoke and you said that you did, that's completely different. But if you signed and said you didn't smoke.
Wait, hold up. So if they go back and find a picture of me smoking hookah when I was 19.
Well, that's different, right? If you signed it when you were 30 or 40, that's crazy. Different. But yeah, you've got to be upfront and honest with them because that's why they'll purposely go back and do that.
The question is, do you smoke?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you did it when you were 30 and they go back and find it later.
Like if someone smokes a cigarette on Christmas with a celebratory
or
event,
cigar,
they don't smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah. The question is, do you smoke cigarette? And this is where they phrase it.
Tobacco.
Yeah, because here's the thing. There's only the one. I'm not going around following. Yeah, you're right. I found the one picture that you may have put online. I don't know if that's the one-time event or if it's a repeated one-time, not repeated one, but a repeated thing that you do. And all I'm doing is going on social media and finding out. And guess what I did? It's the same way with Mishta loans.
You just save the company.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
If you're getting married and you're, and I had this happen to me, they were getting married. They haven't been married yet. We're at the closing table. It's a Mishta loan. And he's talking about going on, him and his fiance are going to go on their honeymoon in a few weeks. Mm-hmm. Title person goes, yeah, I didn't hear that. And, they just kept on going because he won't close. Mishta won't close it. They've got to check everybody on the loan, and they will go and check your Facebook.
Mishta, and for clarification, is he was getting it individually.
Correct.
And he was saying we're going to be married. Once they're married, now they got to underwrite both people. And so
correct.
They could have
They
Sounds
want to
like
qualify.
it would have killed the loan.
Yeah.
Because they would have made too much money
Yep.
as a couple.
Yeah, it was a first time. Yeah, sorry, it was a first time home buyer who was using Mishta as a DPA, down payment assistant, so he was getting some money. Well, there's some caveats with that if you're getting money from the state. So they say, hey, you've got to meet these requirements.
I gotta go back and look at my Facebook photos. Like, I don't think, because I'll smoke like a cigar a couple times a year. I don't think I take any pictures of them though. I got.
Careful, you just said it on your podcast though.
Well, I mean, they could see this and say like I don't smoke, right? That's interesting. That's.
Well, because if you think
That's
about it from
kinda
a health
sneaky,
insurance
dog.
company,
I know.
If you say that you're
True
not
fraud.
smoking
Yeah.
and I'm smoking 2 packs a day,
And you have lung
guess
cancer,
what?
Yeah.
Your health risk is a little bit higher. Not a little bit, a lot higher.
Significantly,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just but
Tongue in
yourself, yeah. So that is the
crazy, dude. Crazy.
way.
Okay, so all right. Are there tax benefits to? Hang on, let me screen share again. I need to coach Keanu here. All right. Are there tax benefits to purchasing a home? When one buys a home, can the land transfer taxes? Help me with. I mean, this the English. When one buys a home, can the land transfer taxes, any renovations, or yearly utility bills, or anything else be used as benefit or income?
Tax write-off.
Or other tax benefits, or is it all a loss pretty much? This won't be a property up north. All right.
The sentence is lost.
Personal Finance Canada. All right, symbolic bit. We're gonna punt this to Josh. So what they're asking
Yes, you can.
is it just all one big expense, or is there any type of tax benefit? He's mentioned land transfer taxes. I don't.
Well, it looked like he was in Canada, isn't he?
Yeah, Canada.
So
yeah,
there might be-
So,
I'm
okay,
not
yeah,
sure
we're not
about
talking about
Canada,
Canada.
yeah,
We're
so-
talking about America, right?
America.
So, tax benefits.
There is a tax write-off you can on your tax.
Oh, shoot, I got this thing's still covering your face. Sorry.
What?
See what it's doing. I screen share and then it covers you. All right, you're good. You're good. Go back.
So yeah, you can have a tax write-off when you do purchase a home or multiple properties. There are, even if you're renting the property, you can have a tax write-off. If you do any repairs in the property, stuff like that.
For rentals.
For rentals,
Yeah.
yes.
For rentals.
Well,
Okay.
for what he's talking about when you do repairs
and
for
stuff like
rentals.
that.
For
Rental,
repairs,
yep.
yeah. Dude, that would be sick. Bro, if you
yeah.
could put home repairs on tax
Your-
write-offs. Yeah.
You've got there's a
the
couple
word.
different
Yeah, I'm
options.
trying to think
So
of one.
your what do you call it? The interest
The interest. Yeah.
that you're
Yeah,
the
mortgage
The
interest.
mortgage interest.
You can use it, and then your appropriated. I can't remember the word now. Did you love when you draw a brain?
So
But yeah, the big one's going to be the
Yeah.
mortgage interest.
mortgage interest, and it's important to again, and this is kind of like a rudimentary episode of this podcast. A tax write-off. Let's say we pay $10,000 in interest, mortgage interest, and let's say last year I had to pay $10,000 in taxes. That is not what a tax. You do not get to deduct the tax write-off from your tax liability. You deduct it from your whatever taxable event occurred, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just easy round math for me. So you make $100,000 as a household, and now you paid $10,000, and you're getting taxed at $100,000, and you're paying $10,000 in mortgage interest that year. Now you get to deduct it from your $10,000 from the 100, so now you're only getting taxed at 90, right? And
Yes.
if you're in a 25%
Yeah.
tax bracket, you save $2,500, right? In a taxable in the tax liability, in what taxes you have to pay. So yeah, there's some benefit to it. Other things I would say is on the sale. You
Correct.
can as a married couple, you can sell. My boy is shopping in Chelsea. He's up. He's probably up less than he thought, but he's probably up 60 or 70 in 3 years on his home that he bought in Wyandotte 3 years ago, right? And so he's like, "Do we have to pay taxes on that?" I was like, "Nope."
That's what I was trying to
Yeah,
think. There's a word.
Capital gains.
Depreciation.
Yeah.
and stuff.
Appreciation. Yes. Thank you.
Capital gains tax, right?
Yep.
So and now once you surpass that $500,000 profits, right?
yeah,
So
profit.
so if you bought a house for $250,000, you could sell it for probably 750-ish, maybe even a little more, because
probably. They're actually talking about raising
as
that
they
number
should,
because it hasn't been raised, and I think
the 90s.
I would say I thought it was like 20, 30 years. Now that is something that they're talking about at the state level too.
At the state level, okay. Let's see what other comments happen in here. So this is the first time home buyers credit. Why would
there's the MCC.
Why would buying a house be a tax benefit? Because it is Happy Camper 2021. Certainly more than renting is.
Zero tax benefit.
Yeah, the main tax is that you don't have to pay capital gains tax.
There's not too many. Like I said, if you're renting and it's more of an investor, now there's a lot more that you can do. But that's, like I said, that's more on the investor side.
If you're self-employed, see, this guy I would disagree with this. If self-employed, you can use as home office and write off hydro, internet bills, but you can do that if you lease.
Correct. And the problem with that, though, and what he's not even taking into consideration is when you do that, your property taxes, whatever percentage that you're writing off of your home. So if you're saying, my home office is 25% or whatever, well, now your property taxes, you've got a 75% homestead and 25% non-homestead. So,
it does it. It'll prorate it, like the property taxes. No way.
So depending on how much you claim,
so worse. Yeah.
And then it's the same thing though when you go to sell. When I sell, I no longer have. We were just talking about the capital gains.
Yeah.
That's a business. You're using 25%.
Yeah.
So now you've got to pay taxes on that portion too. So it's really not because it's a business.
I didn't even consider that. That's a nightmare.
So
and
it's not beneficial.
For the negligible for the $100 in internet or whatever you're paying. Yeah,
it's not. Yeah, I mean, if you're if it's different. If you're talking about like, I've got a barn dominium and I'm using my entire
loft
obviously then I'm living up top and doing my shop out of the bottom. Yeah, you're gonna need to do that because that actually is your business. But for the people who just work out of their home office and I'm a real estate agent and I work from my little 12 by 12 room, so I'm gonna write this room off. Don't do it.
Yeah.
You're going to be way worse.
You're better out. You're better. The real savings there is you're not having to rent a commercial space, right? Mm-hmm.
I think Dave is going to have to go back and do some tax.
No, I don't know. That was one thing I never played in because it never and everywhere I read, everyone I talked to, they're like, bro, you are playing with fire. Like you're just fire. You're playing. There's very little benefit for the juice isn't worth the squeeze on there, and the exposure, right? The exposure of what you could be, accountable for, right? On all those accounts.
You think the certain someone that's not here would know to stop texting?
Is he texting you? Is Jerry? What's he saying?
I'm looking things, and that's
he's texting me.
I wonder if I can fit. Oh, you know what? Actually, we can add him.
No, you can't. He doesn't. He can only text.
Yeah.
He didn't get the internet.
He might not.
He didn't pay for the internet on the cruise.
He doesn't want to. No, well, that too.
But he doesn't want.
He doesn't. Well, dude, don't call me. Don't. He can text.
He can text.
That's enough. Don't bother me.
Who posted something on Facebook?
They went. That was when they went to an island. Yeah, so when they go to a port, they can go get Wi-Fi.
I was about to send them a link and be like, "Hey, you could be a virtual podcast guest." That would be okay. So he's literally texting both of you guys right now.
He's texting me.
Yeah, just it looks like. You also, and I didn't know this too. There's a thing called the SALT deduction where you can actually. It's a 10,000 cap.
The SALT.
Say it again.
It's
SALT.
For what? The SALT, and it stands for the state and local tax deduction up to $10,000. So your property taxes.
Actually, yes. Yes.
Huh.
Yeah, I because we do our own taxes and.
Who do you use?
QuickBooks. Or excuse me, TurboTax. Yeah.
Okay, that's right. That's what
I mean, it's simple enough. Like it's
my
life. My life is not complicated enough to do like hire personal taxes out to a CPA. Corporate
going
certainly
up.
Is now, right? But
it's actually upwards of 40,000 if you're married now.
40,000 what?
Dollars.
A tax credit? What is so you've got the 2025, the federal and local tax deduction limit is increased to $40,000. So capping. So what is deductible? Property taxes.
Property tax. Sales. It just taxes.
So now we'll just use we'll use like an average scenario. Say property taxes are $6,000. So you've deducted that 10 of the interest, another 6,000 for the property taxes. So now you went from $100,000 taxable income to $84,000 taxable income. Michigan PTE workaround.
Yeah, I was gonna say
if you're itemized on your so I'm just gonna use your calculator. You don't have the calculator, as that's crazy to me. Just do 80. Just do 16 times 25%. I thought you had it as a quick drop down. 16,000 times 25% is what?
You said 4,000.
No,
4,000.
Oh yeah, I guess it would be. Yeah, you just divided by 4, cheater. So now you
How
say
is that cheating? That's
now
math.
you say 4. Yeah. So now you say 4. I do decimals in my head.
Yeah, no,
So
that's
I'm trying to multiply it. I know. That's the
25.
smarter way to do it. That's the
make a
smarter way
fourth.
to do
I'm
it.
like, just divide by 4.
But yeah, so that's $4,000 you're saving now on on taxes. So every year.
Did you know you can actually do that when with percentages and stuff? Like when you're trying to figure out like what's 17% of 25, or 16. What's
Is there
you
a
switch
cheat code?
You switch it. So instead of saying what's 16% of 25, you say what's 25% of 16. It's 4.
Start over.
So let's say
wait.
it's completely off track. So instead of saying what's 16% of 25, good luck trying to figure out what's 16. You can say what's 25% of 16. You can just swap the numbers around.
16% of 25 is 4,000.
No. Well, 25 is 4.
But those aren't the same number.
Hold on. Now, I'm looking at you like, wait a minute.
If those are the same number, he said you can do 16% 20. Those aren't the same number.
No, those are not.
Huh?
You do 20.
Dude, you said what?
I was saying.
What do you say?
We'll talk about this afterwards.
I'm kind of curious. I feel like we got 2 people watching right now. They need answers, dog.
You just said 25.
60. He said you can switch them around.
I'm just saying. I just picked 2 random numbers.
Okay,
Yeah, we're gonna use those 2 numbers now.
So
if
I want to calculate 25% of something, I can divide by 4. Is that the?
Well, no. Well, that was what we were talking about. What I was saying though
25% is divided in by 4.
Yeah, I get
that
it.
part
Yeah,
is.
I
But
get it.
what
Past 3rd grade. Yeah.
What I was saying was if you have a harder calculation, like 16% of 25, 16%, trying to figure out 16% of 25 is harder.
I'd have to do 10, then 6,
Yeah.
and even that's tough, right?
But if you switch it, what's 25% of 16? It's a lot easier to figure out.
This will help me. What is 25? What is 16% of 25? 25 times 0.6. What is it, Josh? If it's 4, dog, that's gonna be. Is it 4? Let's get out of here. So
you can do that with anything.
So that's
pick 2 random numbers that you want to. So it's always going to equal the same.
So this is crazy. Hang on a second. Hang on. And if you guys, if you were here for real estate stuff, you can leave now. Like because we're doing so any 2 numbers, you can reverse them.
Yeah, if it's percentages.
Percentages.
Yeah, so like I said, what's 16? Yeah.
So 16%. So let's do a different number. Okay, let's do an easy. Let's do 5% of 100, which is we know it's 5. Or how would you switch that?
Okay,
now you're talking. 5% of 100.
5% of 100. But so if you switch them.
Well, then I don't know if because you're talking about 100% now of. 5,
okay, so 5% of 50. 2.5.
Yeah.
And you said, or you can do what?
Like 50% of 5. 2.5.
Okay, I just did 65 times 0.16, which is 16%.
Yeah.
And it's 10.4. And then I just did 16 times 0.65, switching the numbers.
10.4.
It's 10.4.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Let me see a calculator.
You can do whatever you want. It don't matter. You switch the numbers when it's a percentage, and it's going to equal the same.
So just do 85 times 0.18.
18%.
So
just do 85.
So 85% of 18.
Yep.
Or 18% of 85. It doesn't matter. They're going to equal the same thing. Learn something new every day. There you go.
Percentages.
Yeah.
So you can. I'm gonna have to sit with because I know it's like 4 times 6 is the same as 6 times 4. I get the I think it's called commutative property of multiplication, but I've never seen that done with percentages. That is crazy. So if you're like, what's 70% of 50?
It's going to be a lot easier to be.
What's 50% of 17 is 85? So 85 is 17% of 50, 8,500.
Say that one more time.
Do 50 times 0.17.
8.5.
That's crazy.
That's
super helpful. But it's only helpful if you're dealing with like
percentage.
round numbers.
Round numbers,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, because if you're like, what's 17% of 27? I don't know. The other way around. Yeah.
But
That's
when you're dealing
crazy,
with like,
dude.
what's
That's
of an
pretty sick.
easy number, it's easier just to flip it.
That's crazy.
And a way off topic on that one, but
Yeah.
He's like, Monday's gonna be really easy now.
Yeah. I always do. So I didn't realize when we did the real estate course, I didn't realize calculators had a percentage button.
Yeah.
I never used it. I always did the decimals.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and to me, it helps you understand tenths, hundredth. They're like 3%. I was like, what? You're hitting what button? And people were still struggling.
My mom
struggling.
still uses the calculator that puts out the paper. So she has it if she sets it
So
to the
she
right.
can see it.
Well, it's a little bit different.
Yeah,
because if you just do like 5 plus something, it doesn't come out. It's a accounting calculator.
Yeah.
So when she hits plus, it adds the next sum. Yeah.
So it has the paper.
Those
and
are cool.
Go through ones. Yeah.
Confusing if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. No. Yeah. You could mess your numbers up if you don't know what you're doing. Yeah.
Oh, and I've seen the long trail of numbers.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was insane. That was like
little.
Well, because if we had hopped off, right, and you're like, we'll figure it out after the show, maybe like far less people would have been like, oh, Jordan doesn't know what he's talking about. But what you said at first, like, it held true. I was like, wait, hang on, because I thought there's no way that was actually accurate. Thank you. That was educational. Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's it for today's podcast, you guys. If you have any questions, you want to be a first-time home buyer, it's now warmer weather, this heat wave. I'm wearing a T-shirt right instead of a hoodie, so it's 50 degrees or will be soon. It's not a bad time to start listing, getting stuff ready to list, getting decluttering your house, having a garage sale or a dumpster sale, whatever.
Open a window.
Yeah, right. Open a window. Yeah.
There's actually an air advisory. Did you guys see that?
Yeah. I did, and I heard, I saw just on scrolling, and I was like, "This is the most." They're like, "It's because of the
melting snow."
The melting snow. I was like, "Hold up."
How does
we have snow every year? Like, so, and if there's something in the snow, I could maybe see if like the roads, because you normally have dirt and they push it off, but then it melts and now you've got
that accounts for like 1% of all the snow.
I know.
No, they said it's because of the carbon from the emissions get trapped in the snow and everything else gets trapped in the snow. So when it melts, all of that toxic air gets released, and now we've got an air advisory.
Welcome to the downriver.
Yeah. All right. Well, what happened here? What's going on? Anyway, all right. Well, that's it. I'm just pressing buttons. I hope they can hear us. All right, guys. Appreciate you following along. Do me a favor, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you got, like, subscribe, comment, and things, and we'll see you next week.